Okay, well, welcome to a beautiful early May in Brendonwood. My name is Jay Barclay, and I just wanted to take you on a quick tour of the deer path, the walking trail along Fall Creek. So this will be quick, but hopefully it'll give you a good idea of a great feature that we've got right here in Brendonwood. There's lots of different areas where we can access the trail, but right here along Fall Creek on the further east side is my preferred area. So pulling right up here gives us a nice way we can park, be a little bit out of the way of the golfers, and access the trail. So we can just come on right down here. And I think we've got a couple. You always come up quiet. We can see we've got some ducks right there. You can go either way. Now that's the shorter way. That's not going to go much further. But if we go this way, we can follow the trail. Now, as far as the trail, if you're ever kind of wondering where the deer path is, you've got two clues. One, we'll have trail markers. So that yellow spray paint on the trees is the trail marker. There's also other places where we have arrows fastened to the tree. And then also another clue is just if you stay closer to the Fall Creek and usually higher on the ground, you will be on the trail. And what a beautiful day. Walking right along Fall Creek. We've cleared the area out, so it's not too rough. I'd always recommend wearing good boots, but it's really beautiful back here. And the scenery does change as you're walking through. And here you can see, got another marker. Another thing that's interesting is you always see a lot of the protection around the trees to keep the beavers from chewing on the trees. But you just kind of wind your way around. I'm starting this walk a little bit after kind of about 4:15, so we'll just see how long it takes to get from one end to the other. Nice and wooded back here on a beautiful day. Sometimes when you're walking, you'll wonder, well, where is the trail? Because we want to keep the trees that we've got and not make the trail real wide. But if you ever look in the distance, you'll probably see that next yellow dot on the tree, and you know where to go. In some areas the foliage really comes up quite a bit, and we've got areas that have been thicker than others, but look for the daylight and I think you'll be able to find your way through. Boy, there's a marker, and also you can really see where the beaver's been chewing on that tree. Maybe not recently. And here you can see when we get close to the creek, underneath all this ground cover is going to be a lot of sand. Most all this hill you're walking on is probably all sand from Fall Creek that's built up. And most of the time the path is clear, but sometimes you might have just a little bit of a tree to climb over. And this is a good place to take a look at the woods. Just beautiful with the sunlight shining through. Of course, once you're in the woods, you can always see evidence of these big trees that have fallen down. And the neat thing is nature takes care of it. This is a great area for small animals, plants, insects, where nature takes its course, takes care of those trees. Neighborhood doesn't have to do anything. In some places the trail gets low enough where you can easily get down right onto the Fall Creek if you want to get to the water. Other places you're a little bit higher and a little further away. There's our next marker. Now the more people that walk on this, the more you'll be able to see a real visible trail. But I imagine as summer kicks in, the foliage might get a little bit ahead of us. But if you look for the markers and stay close to the Fall Creek, you'll be on the trail. Well, there went a big old owl. Lots of wildlife down here. If you're a little quiet, you'll see the owl, the hawks, the deer, maybe the beaver. And just listening to the birds. Just a beautiful natural area. And here we are at the bend. Now, as you notice here, the woods, or basically the golf course, comes right up to Fall Creek. So we're going to run out of woods. So we just keep following the markers. And in this case, we see another marker right there. Takes us closer to the golf course, which is really just taking us closer to an easier place to cross this little ravine here, or ditch. So we've got to get across this. It's just easier to get across here. And we've got a marker, and at this point, yeah, we got a little bit more trail here to the next marker that really gets us back up to the golf path, cart path. And now we can just walk along the cart path until we get back to the wooded area. This is really one of the prettiest areas to see Fall Creek. Right at the bend. Of course, the water's high today, so we get further on into summer and the water's lower. You'll see all the exposed rocks, the rapids. Really gives it a different look and feel. And at this point, we're still on the edge of the golf course. The markers are there, so we're not quite ready to get onto the trail. Got that evergreen for a landmark. And then right as we get here, you'll see your next marker. And that's going to be your clue, right where that woodpecker is. That flicker, he's trying to show you the marker. That's how we get back onto the trail. And another marker, and we're back on the trail. I just love these exposed roots and the rocks along the edge bank. These trees are doing everything they can to stay planted and to hold the bank. Here we are, pretty close to the golf course. And more fallen wood. Just look at that root ball on that tree. That's 6 foot tall. Every bit of it. And here's another ravine, drainage gully. So follow the markers. Takes you a little closer to the golf course where you can have a little easier way to cross. And here again, some areas where we're Fall Creek on your right and the golf course right on your left. Okay, and here we're right alongside the Fall Creek, and you can see when there's limbs or even bigger branches, oftentimes we'll just pull those off the trail and lay them parallel to the trail. So not only does it leave the wood for nature, but also it's a good marker of the trail. You start seeing logs like that, you know you're right next to the trail, parallel. Also, as you're coming through the woods, you might see markers on trees like these pink ribbons. Those generally denote things that we do not want to cut, we want to keep. It may be desirable plants, or it may be undesirable things like tree of heaven, which we do not want to cut until they're completely dead from herbicides. So that way, we will not stimulate the growth if you cut it. So there's lots of thought to how to take care of the invasives and how to protect the desirables. And here again, we've got the tree marker. We've got a large log laying on the ground. So we just walk parallel to that, right around it, to the next marker. And here we can kind of see where the path takes us in a little closer to the golf course to get around some of the thicker shrubs. But if we stay, again, back closer to the Fall Creek, you won't get lost. So some helpful hints would be to wear good hiking boots to protect your feet, long pants. We haven't heard too much about ticks, but I'm sure there's going to be ticks back here, especially the closer we get to summer. So you're going to want to wear protection and check yourself for ticks, because you're walking right into the brush here. You want to be concerned with that, but not anything that's going to keep you away from this wonderful area. And don't overdo it. If you ever get tired, you can just turn around and walk right back the way you came. You probably parked your golf cart here, so just get right back on the golf cart, right home. So here we are at the falls. The woods are much deeper here. And the interesting thing here at the falls is you really see the landscape changes. Seems to be a lot cleared out, a lot more cleared out. I'm sure if you came down here near dawn or dusk, you'd see all the deer you'd want back here. There's the bald eagle. So now we're coming to the end of the trail. As you can see, the golf course green is right there in the tee. So if you just keep following Fall Creek, we'll see another marker. Then from here, we'll see the next marker. And this is just going to start turning to the left. There's a big pileated woodpecker just flew by. Then from here, we just turn right through these wood chips. And onto the green. And there's our marker. And we've got a marker on this side. So if you wanted to start your walk from this point, you could drive your golf cart down here, just park right on the edge. And start your walk right there. Start working your way in. Okay. So I walked from one end of the trail to the other. It took me not quite 45 minutes. That was with stopping and taking pictures and enjoying my time. So it's a nice, beautiful walk. I hope you come down there and enjoy it. This is a great feature of Brendonwood, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it inspires you to come down and see the deer path. Thanks.